Don't be scared, just get on in here. Ooh, that's hot. Ooh, that stuff is scalding hot. We're gonna double bag it. We don't want UPS people or post office, however we ship this out, we don't want them complaining about hazardous materials or strange odors coming from the box or whatever. Well, here we are back for day 2 of litter spreading. Tell you what, after spreading 750 tons last fall with this thing and then close to 200 tons yesterday, man, I sure am glad I bought this spreader. I wish I'd done it years ago. You know, last year to buy the litter, have it trucked and spread cost me a little over $60 per ton. This year, buying the litter and having it trucked in here is costing me $46 per ton, and then, you know, whatever it costs me to spread, which is not another $15, $16 per ton. It does not cost me that much to spread it. So on a lot of our ground, because I've been able to get the litter and because of the cost, I'm able to bump my rate up from what we've been doing, which is 1.5 tons per acre, to 2 tons per acre for the same amount of money or a little bit less money than what I've been able to spread 1.5 tons per acre for in previous years. So another 1/2 ton an acre is giving me about an additional, you know, 30 pounds of phosphorus, 30 pounds of potassium per acre, which is going to further reduce our synthetic fertilizer needs even more. You know, we typically don't apply any DAP or phosphorus on our ground because it's reasonably high in those nutrients. But we do typically apply quite a bit of potash because our soils are lower in those nutrients, and that's what I'm really trying to build up. Plus my tissue tests show, you know, that's kind of the nutrient that we're lacking in most during the summer. So that extra 30 pounds coming from that 1/2 ton of potash or potassium is going to lower, you know, how much synthetic we got to use, which is only going to, you know, further lower our fertilizer bill, plus better on the soil because we're not having to put that high salt fertilizer on there. Yeah, this litter spreading definitely taking a lot of time that we don't necessarily have during the spring, but here in just a couple short years with what I'm saving on spreading costs, we will have that spreader right there paid for and be putting money back in our pocket if I can continue to get the litters, and as long as fertilizer prices don't jump sky high again. Problem is, when fertilizer prices go up a lot like they did the last couple of years, well, then people start looking for alternative cheaper sources of fertilizer, which litter can be when synthetic fertilizer is a lot higher. All right, when you're dealing with manure like chicken litter, it's very important that you have it tested so you know exactly how many nutrients is in there. This isn't an exact science because I could pull a sample from here, one over there, other side, multiple different samples, and I'd get different readings. It's not a completely 100% uniform like regular commercial fertilizer is. but still it's very important that you have a solid understanding of how many nutrients is in here, so then you know how much supplemental synthetic fertilizer you need to put out. So anyway, got our Ziploc bag. Going to turn it inside out, grab us a big old sample. Don't be scared, just get on in here. Ooh, that's hot. Ooh, that stuff is scalding hot. Anyway, we're gonna grab a sample from several different places in the pile, just try and get uniform. And after we get it sealed up, we're gonna double bag it. We don't want UPS people or post office, however we ship this out, we don't want them complaining about hazardous materials or strange odors coming from the box or whatever. Make sure that none of it's going to leak out. And we'll add it to our samples. We're going to pull a total of 4 samples because these tests are pretty expensive. The test we're doing to also test for micronutrients is $60 per test. So we got 2 samples pulled from the litter that we just had hauled in March that came from one farm, and then we got 2 more samples that we pulled from the litter we had and hauled in December that came from another farm. Now all of this is layer litter, so I would expect the results to hopefully be consistent, but we won't know for sure until we get these results in. And then once we get the results in, I can build my fertilizer prescriptions to know how much supplemental potash we need to add. This litter should definitely cover all of my phosphorus needs, especially considering our phosphorus fertility in our soils is very good. And this litter should cover any kind of crop removal, but potassium is one nutrient we're trying to build up, and we'll probably have to supplement a little extra of that. But once we know how much we're actually putting on the ground in this litter, then we can build our variable rate prescriptions for potash and come back with that right before planting. Let me holler at Kelly, tell her to come pick up the samples and ship them off to Waypoint in Memphis. Well, we're wrapping up today and the week over here on the new farm, getting some litter spread. Yeah, soybeans going over here, but we're still putting out 2 tons an acre because I actually want some of this nitrogen in this litter to go to work. You see all this grass and stuff over here is going to be kind of difficult to plant into, but it's dead. We get some nitrogen out of this litter down there, start breaking that grass down, and hopefully we don't have as much of this junk that we got to plant through whenever it comes time to plant here in a few weeks. There'll still be a lot of grass out here, don't get me wrong, but this litter should get this stuff breaking down. And then not only the nitrogen, as I said before, this year is going to be kind of a lost year for this farm. See all this sage grass, probably needs a good bit of lime. Didn't have time to get soil tests pulled on it and get lime applied. This litter is also real high in calcium, so getting this calcium on this soil is going to help this crop, help to start getting the soil back working again, productive for crop. And then not only that, we got a ton of micronutrients and stuff in here, stuff that costs big bucks to apply synthetically. This stuff is slap full of zinc, boron, manganese, copper, magnesium, all that kind of stuff. The problem that we're having here though is I don't know if you can see there on my loader, but you can see that grass. This litter was dumped on all this grass, so trying my best not to scrape it up when I load the spreader up, because you get a big clump of grass back there, it blocks the gate, then you got to get back there and dig it out. I know Andy's already had to stop, I don't know, at least 2, maybe 3 times pulling grass out of there. So anyway, this farm looks a whole lot different than what it did a month ago, and hopefully a month and a half, 2 months from now, once we get it planted and get a crop up, hopefully it really starts looking like it's going to come together out here. Well, looks like we're going to get to test the lights out again tonight, because there's no way we're going to get the rest of this spread before that sun goes down. And it's out here in some of this clear dirt where we don't have any grass, and just trying to check the spread pattern because we can see the litter real good. And I mean, it looks like a really nice, good, consistent spread right there. Now, for whatever reason, this litter right here that they just hauled out got quite a bit more moisture in it than what they first brought out, but that doesn't bother me because it's not wet and slimy, but it's got a lot more moisture, makes it heavier, and it seems to do a lot better job spreading, especially in these windy conditions that we've been seeing today. Also, in other news, our single shank ripper here is going to need some work. I was going around this tree line back here and got next to a really big tree and caught a root that I probably didn't need to be ripping up, and broke my bolts on there. I guess we done ripping for this year. We didn't get all our fields done, but we'll get her fixed and get around the rest of the fields to come next spring. Got a little bit different view for me this morning. I'm here in the spreader tractor. Andy's at the Trenton County courthouse fulfilling his civic duties to society. Got jury duty today, so I think it's just like jury selection process. Hopefully the judge will have mercy on us farmers and release him from his duty, because I don't need him tied up all month long with everything we got going on in the field, but we'll see. So anyway, got Carter out here. He's still on Easter break, so he's out here loading litter until Andy gets out of court. I know my memory's not the best, but I don't ever remember having a 4-day weekend when I was in school for Easter break. I don't even know if we got Good Friday off. I know we sure as heck didn't get the Monday off after Easter. Tell you what, downfall of society. Ain't no reason kid can't be in school today. But anyway, I'm glad he's not, because if he wasn't out here loading, Kelly'd be out here, and then I'd have to listen to her gripe about the smell of the chicken litter in that tractor, because it's pretty stout, I ain't gonna lie. It ain't too bad in this tractor because everything's back behind me, but that loader tractor, I'm gonna need some Febreze and some serious air fresheners in it whenever we get done loading all this litter with it. So I don't think we're gonna get another 200 tons done today, but we're gonna do everything we possibly can. We got some storms rolling in tonight. All right, Andy got done with his civic duty for the day. I'm not getting close to the spreader this time. I don't want to get coated. And actually, he got out of jury duty, so thank goodness for that. I certainly can't afford to lose him here in April with everything we got going on. Hopefully some planting getting started. So glad to have him back just in time. Carter had a baseball game that he had to be at, so I swapped out with Carter and let Andy get back on the spread, and we got moved over here to my mom's farm. Got another big pile here, about 140 tons. Hope to get this done today before the rain comes in. Don't really know when it's supposed to come in. I think it's supposed to be overnight, but really like to get this part done. And this is the last farm that I did my burn down strips on, and you can tell the strips are just starting to die. Let's see, I think I did this farm Thursday or whatever, so been fairly warm. Roundup's starting to work good. We're gonna keep on spreading. We got a lot of tons on the ground. So far we've done, before we started today, we had done some around maybe 375, 400 tons out of the between 1700 tons we've got to spread. So we still got a long ways to go. You know, getting 100+ acres done with that spreader in one day, you know, it's a job because we got to fill up like every 4 to 5 acres or so, and you know, it takes me 6-7 minutes every time to load. So anyway, this is something we're not used to having to fit into the spring because I've always had it done, but going forward, you know, if we're going to continue to use litter, you know, we've been blessed with a dry spring so far this year. We don't always get those, so I'm definitely going to have to prepare next year just to maybe get started on the spreading a little bit earlier, so we got plenty of time to do it. As it is, for us to get this done, we're going to be up against the gun of when we need to start planting too. But every year our farm is constantly evolving, And we got to figure out ways to make it work. We've done a good job so far. We just got to keep on doing it. All right, there's another 135 ton spread. Just got done with my mom's farm. Now I'm just trying to shape up this pile site, make it nice and smooth. And I mean, we don't want to leave like a whole bunch of litter right here in the ground, because this stuff is so potent. They'll actually like sterilize the soil. Like there'll be too much nutrients there and won't nothing grow this year, so we'd have to just have a bare spot of corn. So just trying to drag it, spread it out a little bit more. I tell you what, on all these sites right here where we pile litter, you know, I don't know what we're gonna make on corn this year. But if I'm gonna have any 300 bushel corn, it's gonna be right here around these sites. You know, the wind's been blowing moderately, you know, this stuff's dusty, so as I'm dumping into the buggy, you know, it's just the wind's kind of catching those fines and just blowing it right here in this area. I'd say the ground's gonna be pretty hot right here in this area. So they're gonna get moved over to the Ferguson farm. It's dadgummit, it's 6 o'clock already. I can't believe it's that late. I'm gonna try and get a few more loads spread before call it quits for today. And might be call it quits for a few days, depending on how much rain we get tonight when those storms blow through. All right, that's gonna be the last load for today right there. It'll be probably 8:30, 8:40 or so whenever he gets done with that. I'm gonna head on in the shop, get fueled up. Like I said, we're supposed to get some storms tonight. Really don't know how much rain. Looks like maybe storms might actually miss us. I don't know, or we might wake up in the morning and 2 inches of falling. I don't know. Regardless, we got work to do. It might be in the shop on the combine, or it might be back out here in the field. Just have to wait and see what tomorrow brings. Regardless what happens, I'll see y'all first thing in the morning.